Hello and welcome to this week's Speedrun. This week in gaming, Twitch streamers go wild, Xbox gets roasted, and Nintendo takes to the stage. Let's jump in. Pokemon got a 48-hour ban on Twitch for streaming the entire live-action Avatar movie. Was it worth it? I originally wasn't even going to report on this, but it's making waves in both the Twitch and general streaming community, and I'm sure the consequences are sure to follow for smaller streamers. It looks like Sony might be coming out with its Game Pass competitor very soon. The Video Game Chronicles reported that Sony is pulling PS Now retail cards from the UK shelves in preparation for the launch of their own Game Pass-like service that will combine PS Now and PS Plus. According to VGC, the first tier will reportedly include existing PlayStation Plus benefits such as online play and free monthly titles. The second tier will offer a large category of games like Xbox Game Pass, although not first-party titles at launch. The third tier will add extended demos, game streaming, and a library of classic PlayStation games, which isn't out of the realm of possibilities with the backwards compatibility patent rumors coming from PlayStation. It looks like Street Fighter's 35th anniversary isn't getting off to a good start with the Capcom Cup and the Street Fighter League World Championship in-person events being canceled due to COVID. It looks as though the Capcom Cup will still have some kind of online presence, excluding the Street Fighter League. A new horror game, It Sleeps Below the Horror, was announced with a trailer. Made by the developers that made The Black Iris, It Sleeps Below the Horror allows players to explore a quiet coastal village in northeastern Ireland as a research student looking for quote, primordial natural forces and curious phenomenon, end quote. It Sleeps Below the Horror is scheduled to drop later this year, but if you're interested, be sure to wishlist it on Steam. GameSpot reported on Fortnite possibly signing a deal with Paramount to bring some of their IPs to the game, with the first of them being the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. If nothing else, I find it very likely that TMNT will come to Fortnite considering their cameos in Brawlhalla and Injustice 2. And with the game in the works with a release window for this year, now would be a great time to bring the turtles out of the sewers and onto the battlefield. Sega opened a studio in Sapporo City, Japan. According to Sega's press release, this studio is created to, quote, secure a high-quality and stable development line, end quote. Sega's Sapporo studio will be able to support local developers as well as students in the area, which is awesome. I haven't heard anything about Sega mistreating their employees as of in the last decade, so hopefully they will continue to make both developers and gamers happy. Sega is also looking to expand the Persona series. Sega Sammy, a holding company formed from the merger of Sega and the Sammy Corporation, and its investors held a meeting to discuss the games released in 2021 as well as the company's future. Of the franchises mentioned, Persona was highlighted as a franchise that can expand its media outside of video games with success. Varying degrees of success in my opinion, but success nonetheless. I have mixed feelings about continuing to expand upon Persona outside of video games. I really enjoyed Joker being able to cross over to other franchises and still do to some degree. But at the same time, I don't want Sega to keep milking Persona 5 or any Persona game to follow for years and years after its release. Making additions to the lore of the characters like Persona 5 Strikers is fine, but I think Sega should be careful about diluting the franchise. Among Us will have its own manga. Nintendo Life reported that Among Us is getting a one-off manga adaptation in the February edition of Besatsu Korokoro, a monthly Japanese manga magazine. It is absolutely insane how big this game has gotten. I don't think an anime could come from this, but I guess you never know. I hope the Innersloth team is raking it in all the same. And for one of the highlights of my week, Xbox was one of the many companies that got roasted on National Roast Day, where Wendy's was serving both the chicken and the smoke. I'd highly recommend checking out this thread because Wendy's is ruthless. And now on to some updates. Kirby and the Forgotten Land got a new trailer and a release date. I am loving everything about Kirby's Odyssey, and the fact that there's co-op, ooh boy. After watching the trailer, it kind of reminded me of playing the open-world Pac-Man games on the Xbox original, which I love. We can look forward to the little pink ball rolling into our lives on March 25th. A new Pokemon Legends of Arceus, not Arceus, trailer came out. I'm feeling much better about this game after getting more details. It looks like the technical issues that were in a couple of the trailers have been resolved, and we get to see a bit more of a populated open world. I am very curious as to whether there will be a Team Rocket-esque team, since I get a lot of enjoyment from that, but I guess we'll have to see on January 28th. Far Changing Tides set sail on March 1st of this year. This game is the second of the FAR series, following the award-winning FAR Lone Sails. The gameplay looks like something that would be meditative and fun to explore. So if you're ready to disembark on a new adventure, FAR Changing Tides will be coming out on Nintendo Switch, PS5, PS4, Xbox Series S and X, and Xbox One S and X, as well as PC. And it will be on Game Pass on day one. Stalker 2 was delayed to December 8th of this year to give the development team more time to polish and test the game. With this being GSC Game World's biggest game yet, they want to do everything they can to impress the fans. And to start a small section of sad Halo news, Xbox 360 Halo servers shut down on January 13th. 343 has finally decided to pull the plug on the Xbox 360 servers of several Halo games. At first, I didn't think this was a big deal considering all of the games are on the Master Chief Collection, but then I talked with a friend who is a huge nerd and Halo fan, and they told me that the forge maps, screenshots, and clips, as well as anything else that were in the Halo Waypoint archive, would be deleted as well, which is incredibly sad to think about. I hope the devs have at least saved the blueprints for some of the fans' favorite maps, but that's only a fraction of what was lost. And it looks like Halo is crushing the spirit of gamers of all console generations because Halo Infinite has been flooded by hackers with little to no response from 343. Crossplay was already a huge problem for console gamers in general, but now the hacking situation is just getting out of control and the multiplayer is suffering for that. But Phil Spencer may be working on a solution on that front. GameSpot reported on a New York Times interview with Spencer where he suggested creating a multiplayer network where a player ban goes across multiple platforms, which would definitely discourage cheating if done effectively. I could also easily see how this system would be abused, but GameSpot reported that Call of Duty actually has already done this. Quote, Activision's Call of Duty games have a multiple platform ban strategy. Players found to be cheating or taking part in other bad behavior have their Activision account banned across platforms, even those they've never played on. End quote. It is a little harsh, but I kinda like it. Speaking of Activision, or should I say not really speaking of them, the NYT interview also briefly talks about Phil Spencer and the Xbox team's reevaluation of its relationship with Activision. It doesn't seem like much resulted from this reevaluation, at least from what Spencer publicly mentioned, but he, as well as Jim Ryan from PlayStation and Doug Bowser from Nintendo, continue to disapprove of Activision's past actions. In all of this, a day before the Xbox boss's birthday. What a week he must have had. In any case, I hope it was a happy birthday. Now let's get into some leaks and rumors, with some of the biggest news of the week being Horizon Forbidden West was leaked. GameSpot reported on the leak of an unfinished build of Horizon Forbidden West that hit the internet this week. According to the Video Game Chronicles sources, the leaked materials were legit. GameSpot also reported that the build that was leaked is mostly complete, and aside from some missing art assets, it features all the content currently planned for the final release of the upcoming PlayStation exclusive. We also had a reported Armored Core leak on Reddit. From Software is sending out surveys to test the waters on what is rumored to be a new Armored Core title. Reddit user Vic Iyer comments on the survey reportedly containing footage with a, quote, white mecha fighting against a huge robot boss with a laser sword which looked very Souls-like, end quote. From what I know, the Armored Core series is where From Software got its start before Dark Souls, so I'd be curious to see what a return would look like. Mario Kart 9 rumors also surfaced this week. Games Industry published an article where several industry analysts were making predictions for the industry in 2022 when Dr. Serkan Toto of Catan Games stated that Mario Kart 9 is currently in the works with a new quote-unquote twist. Toto also predicts that Nintendo could tease the game sometime this year. If this is true, I think the real news here is that Dr. Toto just flexed on an entire room of people. Can you imagine him sitting there with everyone and going, "Those predictions are cute, but let me tell you what's actually going to happen." Persona 4 Golden is rumored to be coming to PS4 and Switch. Gaming Bolt reported on rumors that Persona 4 Golden will be ported to the Switch and PS4 sometime this year, with a Persona 3 remaster in the works. Nate the Hate, a prominent leaker in the community, has also reported the same information along with rumored information on Persona 6. Nate the Hate believes that the game will be revealed later in the year, most likely in September, and will be a PS5 exclusive. I don't think he said anything too new here since Atlus's celebration did start last September, so it makes sense to close in this September, but in any case, all eyes are now on Atlus to give fans the celebration that we've been asking for. And bring games to every platform news, you can now play Pokemon Crystal on Twitter. Twitter user @ScreenShakes has created a program that allows users to control the game in his profile picture by commenting controller commands. It is amazing to me that people are figuring out how to do these things on Twitter, and it is even more incredible that there is a real interest for this kind of thing. You can now play the OG Prince of Persia on an Apple Watch. IGN reported on software developer Oliver Clemens's discovery, which allows you to play the original Prince of Persia by emailing princejs.com to yourself and then hitting the link on your Apple Watch. This is honestly pretty impressive. Now heading to the games coming soon, starting with Xbox. Spelunky 2 joined the Game Pass catalog this week on Xbox Series X, S, Xbox One, and Windows 10. Spelunky 2, like its predecessor, is a roguelike where players have to use exploration and creativity to survive. The sequel will use new strategies, new items, and new routes to evolve the series' gameplay, making it worthwhile for fans who enjoyed the first Spelunky. I highly recommend checking out the Xbox Wire's article for more information. It was actually pretty cool. The Anacrusis preview is now live. The Anacrusis is a Left 4 Dead-like game where you and a group of friends fight off alien hordes to survive inside of your spaceship, all while having a groovy 1970s style. I tried the game out with some friends on Twitch, and there were a few tweaks that need to be made before the final release. The weapons don't feel good in my opinion and take some time to get acclimated to. Special enemies spawn much too frequently, and I just hate the flasher special enemy. This enemy basically just fills your screen with light, so you just have to spray and pray you kill it. Don't think my criticism means I didn't like it though. I actually had a lot of fun playing. I'll leave a link to my stream down below, but I honestly think you should take a look for yourselves. It's available on Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, and on PC. Let's head over to the PlayStation side of things, where they actually had a pretty big collaboration announced this week. Almost every anime fan knows that the second part of Attack on Titan's final season came back last week, and to celebrate, we get a collaboration that is just as bizarre as the Titans are. Attack on Titan teamed up with Call of Duty to put Levi into the game along with other Easter egg items. From the outside looking in, it seems like they've done a good job with this update. I don't know how the weapons will feel compared to others already in the game, but at the very least, the references to the show will make the items a fun purchase. And to close it out with Nintendo, for a limited time, Nintendo Switch Online players can try Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker. From January 13th at 10 a.m. PST to January 20th at 11:59 p.m. PST, Nintendo Switch Online members can download and try the full game with this latest game trial. And to cap us off, we revisit our good friend Nate the Hate for a bunch of Nintendo rumors. In his podcast, he talks about a HD remaster of Metroid Prime coming out this year for the anniversary of Metroid coming out on GameCube, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 being delayed, and a new Fire Emblem arriving later this year by the Three Houses devs. There were quite a few titles being thrown out there, so if you're interested, be sure to check the links below. Well, how was this week in gaming? What news did you hear that I missed, and what games have you been playing recently? I played Halo Infinite all week long, and I honestly wish I could get my time back. The hacking situation is bad, the challenges can be frustrating at times, and good teams are very hard to come by. Until a worthwhile event comes to Infinite, after finishing the campaign, I think I'm done with it for a while. On the bright side though, I did get to play an incredible indie title, A Short Hike, which I can't recommend enough. Its open world is breathtaking and full of things to do and super fun people to meet. Alright, well that's it for me. I'll see you all in the next week of gaming.